Before we get started with anything, I just want to say thank you to Activision for providing me with a code for the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Seriously, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Now, with that being said, I've been waiting to talk about the Spyro trilogy for a pretty long time, I'd say. I do have one video where I talked about Spyro 2 briefly, which was my top 5 favorite video games back in 2016 when I did it for my communist little 13 Days of Christmas special marathon of videos that I try to do. I didn't do it last year, but I will be doing it this year. And I briefly talked about Spyro 2 there. It was pretty fun to talk about, and I was like, eventually when I start making more videos and stuff, I want to talk about the rest of the trilogy because while Spyro 2 is my favorite game out of the original 3, I think that the first and the third game are all both really good also. And then after the Crash HD trilogy got announced and then they released it, I was waiting for them to announce the Spyro one, and eventually they did, and it's finally here. So yesterday I sat down for about 4 or 5 hours and I played the original Spyro the Dragon, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And normally I don't really say spoilers for videos like this, but spoilers I guess, because there's going to be like the final boss and stuff on screen. If you haven't played Spyro by now and you don't want to see it, then I guess, I don't know. But there's your warning, so let's jump into this. Okay, so first things first, I just wanted to say that the UI is really good on the very first main menu and stuff. It's really easy to access, and you actually have 3 save files for all 3 of the games. It stores all 3 of your files on one thing, and you have 3 files. And it keeps track of your hours, and it keeps track of your progress for every game. So if you're going for 100%, you can just look at it, and it displays everything in a really nice and neat fashion. And then I started up Spyro the Dragon, and we get into the regular really cool intro that we've always had for the game, with Nasty Nork watching the dragons talk on TV. They say some mean things about him, he gets really angry about it, and then he ends up turning all the dragons except for Spyro into stone. So I know it's gonna be weird to just be like, hey, boom, graphics, but wow, they actually really did a really good job with making everything in this game look amazing. The models look great. I love the way that everybody looks now. All of the dragons look amazing. Spyro himself looks great, Sparks looks great, Nasty Nork looks great, all of the other enemies look amazing. There's so much personality and life into them. And it's not to say that they didn't have life and personality before, because they definitely did, but not to the same extent. Now with this remake, there's little details and stuff that you'll notice on dragons that just makes them stand out. And there's one in one of the really early stages in Town Square, I believe, that had a cake that said "Thank you, Spyro" on it. And just this little detail of him just having a cake that's just thanking and congratulating Spyro is just really nice. And everybody's just so full of personality. I mean, even Nasty Nork in the very beginning intro sequence, he had a bunch of posters and stuff in his room, and all these little items and stuff lying around before he put on his armor and he grabbed his weapon and stuff after he turned the dragons to stone. I think that this is a really effective thing to do, and just making everything stand out as much as possible from each other. Because if you guys played the original Spyro the Dragon on the PS1 or on the PS3, whichever version of the game you guys played, you guys will know that there's a ton of dragons that are just hey, thanks for releasing me, Spyro, and that's it. And they don't really say much else, but now there's a bunch more dragons that actually talk and have really cool dialogue. The lighting and shading also complement the way that everything looks. I mean, just running around and stuff and seeing the way all of these stages now look because of this new shading and lighting that comes with the game being remade in 2018. It's just really crazy. Everything looks so damn good. And like I said earlier, simple touches are just amazing. Always, I love when little things get added here and there. So the way that the floors and stuff just burn up when you use fire and stuff, just seeing these little burn marks and little patches of grass that are just on fire for a couple seconds before it just goes away is really nice. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the UI is really good. Now when it comes to video games, I usually pay a ton of attention to good UI, because most of the time you're going to be looking at menus and stuff depending on what kind of games you play, and most of the time I'm playing RPGs, so I'm very UI dependent, I guess, and I hope that whatever game I'm playing has a really easy to follow menu where everything is really nice and clear. And Spyro's UI is exactly that. Everything is shown in a really good and clear fashion. Nothing is out of the way or hard to access, because there's not really a ton of menus to begin with. You kind of can just hit the pause button and then it just brings up the menu, and then everything is there. They added a guidebook to Spyro 1 so you can keep track of all of your progress throughout all the stages, and you also have skill points that got added to Spyro 1, 2, and 3 now. So the entire trilogy has skill points for achieving certain things, and this is kind of just nice for completionists like myself. We just have another incentive towards something to just go collect, so it's pretty cool. And speaking of collectibles, there's a decent amount of trophies for all 3 of the games, and you'll most likely end up getting a decent amount of them just from having a normal playthrough, but going out of your way to trophy hunt in this game is actually going to be really fun. Because a lot of these trophies are just doing simple things that you might not have thought of doing before, and it's pretty cool. Because normally when I play Spyro, I don't charge into the vultures. I always just like light them on fire, just use the flame, but you actually will get a it's either a skill point or a trophy. I'm not remembering right now, but it's one of the two for actually headbutting into them instead. And I'm pretty sure it's a trophy you get just for headbutting into the vultures instead of flaming them, which again, that's something that I normally never do because I always just look at them and I'm like, oh, fire, and then the vultures, you know, they die. So it's pretty cool that they actually have this there to kind of just make you experiment with new ways to play the game. Which also keeps it a little more refreshed and stuff. I think that this whole new skill point thing is actually really good for the trilogy. And I also wasn't aware of this until after I was recording footage for the video, but from the pause menu on the guidebook, you can actually fast travel to any world, like whether it's a hub world or a stage itself, including boss stages, and you can just fast travel to all of these just from clicking on it. So if you missed a collectible, you want to go back and get a skill point, all you have to do is open up the pause menu, click on the stage, and it'll ask you if you want to travel there. You say yes, and then it immediately will just take you to the stage after a really short loading screen. The controls kind of feel slightly different at first, similar to how the Crash Remaster felt for the first game, so it might take a little bit of adjusting to, but the controls are really responsive and tight, and Spyro handles so well, and I actually do like the new physics for everything, and especially in Spyro 2, which I'll be talking about probably next week. I want to say is when I'll have the Spyro 2 video out, or maybe this weekend. I'm not sure yet. I still have to sit down and record commentary for that also. And with these new controls, they also added a new control scheme, which is the Reignited control scheme, which changes a bunch of stuff, and it allows you to have R2 set also for flaming enemies, which I think was pretty cool. I did play the rest of the game with the classic scheme after going into the menus and stuff and like seeing the controls, just because I'm used to playing Spyro with the classic control scheme, but the new control scheme is pretty cool, and it's nice to have the option between using it. And the same goes for the music. We have the Reignited music, which is all the remade stuff that's really good. I played all of Spyro 1 with the Reignited music, and I'm playing through Spyro 2 now with the Reignited music also. But it's cool that you just have the option to toggle it back to classic or Reignited whenever you want. All you have to do is just pause the game and you can change it right there. And the new Reignited music also has a dynamic music mode, which you can toggle on or off, so that's pretty cool. I'm very impressed with how the developers at Toys for Bob handled the Spyro the Dragon remake. It was really good. I had a ton of fun playing through it again. All the nostalgia and stuff just like came back, seeing all these stages and stuff from Spyro 1 all over again, done in HD. Just, it brings a smile to my heart, honestly, and my face, of course, because I'm smiling right now while recording, because it's just really cool, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it a ton. I think overall that the trilogy is just really, really, really good, and you should definitely pick it up if you like Spyro and you have a PS4. And that's like all you really need to know about the first game. Honestly, it's just everything is done better in my opinion, and it's really cool, and it's gonna be great to see when speedrunners start playing the HD versions and stuff like that too, and it'll just be really cool to see everybody talk about Spyro again. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Definitely go buy the Spyro Reignited Trilogy if you're a Spyro fan again. I'm Kami. You can follow me on Twitter at FreightKugel and on twitch.tv/SuperKamiGaming. The links are in the description down below. You can also join my Discord. We can talk about games and stuff. I also do other types of videos aside from my What Makes This Good, where I sit down and review something, in case you're just new to the channel. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, also thanks to Activision for providing me with a code for the game so I can make this video and review it. I really do appreciate that so much, and definitely go buy this again. And they're not paying me to say this, no. I just really like Spyro, and I'm very passionate about the series. And I'll be talking about Spyro 2 soon, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm definitely going to have a lot of things to say about that. So thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.